Hi, I'm Kelley Norton. I'm the AZ Realty lady, and I am out here in Peoria, right on the edge of Peoria in the desert. And you may be wondering, why on earth is she out in the desert again? Well, I am super excited because there is a community that was just purchased. It's a master plan community that's undeveloped, so it hasn't been developed yet in Peoria, and it's the last of the large master plan communities to be developed, and it was just purchased on, I believe, March 9th. And I'm so excited to share it with you and give you all of the details that are currently available.
Hi, I'm Kelley Norton, your AZ Realty lady at EXP Realty. Count on me for all things Arizona real estate.
All right, so those of you who don't know me, I'm Kelley Norton. I'm known as the AZ Realty lady. I'm a Valley native and also a 20-year real estate agent here in the Valley. And I'm in one of my favorite areas, which is North Peoria. And the area that I'm at right now is really on the city limits of Peoria, on the very far west edge. And I'm right near Carefree Highway. And this area is, just to give you an idea, if you know where Lake Pleasant is, I am just a couple miles to the west of Lake Pleasant harbor exit. So where the marina exit is, and where Dillon's, where you would normally pull off to go to Dillon's Bayou in the marina. I am just a couple miles past that exit. So also right across from Quintero Golf Club. Right around there, and you'll see I'm literally out in the middle of the desert. I've got dirt bikers coming up behind me here, and I'm just going to go ahead and show you an area that is planned to have a master plan community called Saddleback Heights. Sorry, I'm trying to make sure that I don't have any more dirt bikes coming at me here. This, I think, is going to be a community that's very popular for the outdoor enthusiasts. As you can see, people dirt bike out here. There's quads that you'll see out here, razors. The lake is just a couple miles down the road. So this development is between 5,500 and 6,000 acres. So to put that in perspective for you of how big that is, picture over 10 Disneylands. And if you're familiar with Peoria, Arizona and the Vistancia community, that sits on roughly 3,700 acres. So this community is going to be bigger than that. Like I said, a very large master plan community out here in Peoria. So the location where this is going to be, I'm going to let the camera pan here. So those mountains that you can see in the distance there is towards Lake Pleasant. And the community is going to be between Lake Pleasant and where I am now, which is just a few miles down the road. So if you know where Vistancia is, it's going to be to the north end of Vistancia and very close to Lake Pleasant. This is going to be a really well-developed community. It's been in the works here since 1990. They started to plan for this. So here we are in 2022, and the land was just purchased, well over $100 million for this acreage. And everything that I've heard and read says that they're going to start development on this right away. And they're planning for somewhere between 6,000 and 8,000 residential housing units. And there's going to be commercial development in there. I've also heard that there's going to be up to 3, I guess, championship golf courses. So the plan is to have kind of a luxury community, and they're still going to have to keep it with that natural desert feel. Because that's kind of how this area is. If you've ever been in Vistancia or watched my videos on Vistancia, that really, I think, is going to have a very similar feel with all of the natural desert areas that are around there. So again, I'm going to pan out here and show you a little bit more of this natural desert area, which will be the development. And I'm going to turn the, sorry, try not to trip here. I'm going to turn the camera back to the east, because this community is going to be east of where I am right now. And if you're wondering, okay, well, what would the cross streets be? The best way to explain that is picture Carefree Highway and picture as far west as like El Mirage Road. Those would be the cross street borders. And I think this community, again, is going to be very popular for people who want to have close access to the lake. It's so close. It's only going to take you 10 minutes to be at the lake. And what I think is also a huge draw for why this community may be starting to be developed right now is that we're only about a 15-minute drive down the Carefree Highway from the Taiwan semiconductor plant that I think, if I remember right, is a $12 billion plant that's being built. And if you're driving on the 303 or the Carefree Highway and you're heading west to the I-17, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. It feels like all of the big cranes in Arizona are parked and working in that one spot. There's so many cranes and dump trucks when you drive by. So that Taiwan semiconductor plant is going to house, thousands of employees. So a lot of developers, a lot of builders are getting really excited to try and put more housing out in this area. So if you are someone that's like, hey, you know what, I know I'm going to be coming out there and I want to keep an eye on some of these new construction, new communities like Saddleback Heights, please comment here or call me or text me. Let me know that you're interested. And as I hear more information about what builders are going to be building in the area and what floor plans might be available and when they might break ground, I can definitely let you know. So I'll have an interest list and I can certainly get you more information. I've done something similar with Douglas Ranch, and Douglas Ranch out in Buckeye, it hasn't started to break ground yet, but I definitely can have an interest list for you and keep you updated and let you know as I hear more information. I really think this one's going to probably break ground a lot sooner because Peoria is really booming and there's just not a lot of land left to be developed, and that's why this North Peoria area it's so popular with the desert feel. And a lot of people say, well, North Peoria is developing and so much is being built there, and that's because that's what's left in Peoria is the northern area, and that's where we are. We're on that very northwest edge of Peoria. So this community is originally slated to have at least 2 schools, 2 major parks, and at least one fire and police facility. So really, again, this is going to be like its own little town. It's going to have the parks, and I imagine it's going to be much like the other master plan communities that we have here in the valley, like Vistancia and Verrado. And again, I really feel like this area is going to be very popular for the outdoor enthusiast, like we have here, and people who want to go out to the lake because you're so close. You just have Carefree Highway here. So again, I'm Kelley Norton. I'm your AZ Realty lady. If you want to be put on the interest list for Saddleback Heights, which is going to be a large master plan community out here in Peoria, please comment or text me or call me. Texting and calling is the best way to reach me. So feel free to text or call. My information is on my page here if you need to email me, but definitely calling and texting is a better route for you. All right, well, I appreciate it. I hope that you got a little bit of information and are kind of excited about this community because I definitely am. Let me know if you have any questions. Subscribe to my channel. Click the bell if you have, if you want to be notified when I put up new videos. And if you have any questions, text me, call me, or put your comment here. All right. Well, I'll go ahead and leave you with a little video here of gorgeous Peoria.